How's it going, everyone? Off of the heels of a successful Helldivers 2 weekend. Look, was it perfect? No, I don't think with a game like this it's ever gonna be absolutely perfect for everyone. However, man, comparatively speaking to the last 2 weeks, this weekend was a slam dunk home run in my opinion, and I had a great time. Easy access to get into the game. I know some people have had issues with like their super credits disappearing. Don't worry, the super credits are still available on the back end. Looks like it's more of a UI issue than anything. Hopefully by the time you guys are watching this video, all of those issues have been resolved. I do want to highlight a couple of things. A bit of an update on the Steam user reception. Steam concurrent player count has seemingly stabilized at a very healthy range. Maybe it'll go up a little bit, but the servers have been working great. At worst, you were getting very, very slight queue times. And we got to go over a few updates from CEO of Arrowhead, so we'll talk that in a little bit. But first of all, Helldivers 2 is at still a mostly positive reception. It went all the way up to 137,000 reviews on Steam. 76% of those reviews are positive. It was hovering around mixed, I believe, sometime Friday or even Thursday. I think Thursday, it was at the mixed reception around like 67%, so it's gone up quite a bit. I know a lot of the negative reviews still do stem from the anti-cheat that is in the game, so it is what it is as far as that's concerned, but as far as the actual playability and the accessibility of the game, seems like across the board it's gotten a lot better. My experience has been damn near flawless, and remember, I usually have not had to experience issues with quick play and matchmaking because I've had a group to play with, and that's been quite good, but from what I'm hearing, quick play has gotten a lot better as well, so that's great. Hopefully at some point they do get to 80% because that's really where you want to be, at the very least. Very positive reception. As far as Steam concurrent player count, remember, this is just Steam. This isn't applicable towards PlayStation 5, but 457,000 concurrent players as I'm recording this video. That 450 to 500k mark seems to be like the high point for the game, more so closer to 450k. That seems to be the high threshold that the game is inching towards. Maybe it'll go a little bit higher as more updates are rolling out and everything like that, and content updates. Remember, we're out of the woodworks as far as issues such as server issues, and now they are going to be focusing on things such as content updates, and obviously server backend updates will be happening. But we'll talk about the CEO's tweets in a second. But 450k concurrent Steam users, that is quite good. And remember, that 450k actually signifies people playing the game prior to the AFK timer being introduced. I think that number was inflated by a lot. I thought it would have just been a couple of people, not that many people AFKing on the game, just so they didn't have to queue in or anything like that. But after that AFK timer was introduced, it seems like across the board, that's when the experience got a lot better. It definitely got exponentially better as well when they upped this concurrent server count. I mean, initially they said 700,000, now it's seemingly 800,000, so it seems like quietly they've been upping the server count, but really more so than anything, I feel like the AFK timer did impact it quite a bit. But 450 to 500k seems to be around the number it's hovering around on Steam, and then you can add in another couple 100,000 players playing the game on PlayStation 5 as well. So it seems like there is a little bit more people playing on Steam versus PlayStation 5, but that's to be expected, especially with a game like this. So really coming off a very, very active weekend, and a weekend where the servers worked really well. Moving on from that, do want to note a couple of interesting tweets. First of all, this really caught my eye a couple of days ago. Somebody tweeted to Arrowhead CEO, Destiny 2 x Helldiver 2 Hunter fashion, hope you like it, follow for more Destiny fashion, this is custom armor and whatnot. And Arrowhead CEO responded, super cool, I love these kinds of crossovers that make sense to the world, right at Bungie. Now, Helldivers 2, obviously, they're gonna be focused on getting the game at a better state and a working state, and they're gonna roll out content updates, but you've gotta be kidding yourself if you don't think crossovers are gonna be happening at some point. Yes, a Destiny 2 crossover makes all the sense in the world, because by the way, Helldivers 2, published by PlayStation, who owns Bungie now? PlayStation as well, and I don't think it's just gonna stop at Destiny. I think you have all the potential in the world for various crossover armors from various PlayStation IPs. I think just make a lot of sense given that PlayStation is the publisher of Helldivers, but you could extend it beyond PlayStation-owned IPs and PlayStation-owned companies. But could you imagine God of War armor, Horizon armor, Ghost of Tsushima armor? All of those make all the sense in the world. The Witcher armor, Cyberpunk armor, just rattling off a few off the top of my head. And if you did want to do, you know, cosmetics and microtransactions attached to stuff like that, or make those a little bit more super credits where you're kind of pushed towards buying microtransactions, at that point, that's one example of microtransactions that I don't think is too big of a deal. It would be cool armor, cool cosmetics that people could have, but you're not really emphasizing people spending a lot of money for massive gameplay refinements or massive gameplay influence, and you're still making those super credits easily accessible. I think there will be, you know, a lot of people, if let's say crossovers did happen, they'd be buying it with super credits they earned through game, and some people would be spending money on it, and hey, if those people have the disposable income, and if they're enjoying Helldivers 2 and they deem, hell, I want to get those super credits and I want to spend money on those super credits, fine. I think that's a manageable way for microtransactions to be done, but with a game like this, given its popularity, its player base, and given the publisher of PlayStation, it would be foolish. Honestly, it would be malpractice, business malpractice, if at some point they didn't do some sort of crossover as far as special armor. I know I'm pushing the cart before the horse a little bit here because we still got to get through other things before we talk about crossover armor, but again, you're talking Horizon, Destiny, Ghost of Tsushima. What else you got? Think about the PlayStation IPs. Could you imagine like some sort of special Spider-Man armor? I mean, people would be all over that. You also have, you know, Marvel getting in the fold there. I get it. There's probably licensing agreements and things that have to be worked out, but the sky's the limit. The ceiling for the crossovers you can do as far as special armor, I think makes all the sense in the world. Right now, it is just him tagging Bungie, and I think at some point that would have to happen, or you would think would happen. Again, it would just be beneficial to both of them, having a special Destiny 2 armor and then having special Helldivers 2 armor. Again, makes a lot of sense, and I would expect that to happen sometime down the line. Another note, this was tweeted out yesterday morning, noting from the CEO, I'm really happy and proud of the Arrowhead Game Studios team for an amazing achievement. The servers handled all Helldivers 2 players this weekend without problem. Now we have time to focus on improvements to the title and resume our original plan. Many exciting things upcoming, and obviously, what they're going to be working on extends far beyond just making server improvements. Eventually, you'll have content updates. Eventually, other cosmetics being introduced. Eventually, you'll have gameplay features being introduced. There's going to be a lot of things introduced where I think 6 to 9 months from now, given also the success level of this game is going to be at a much, much better state 9 months from now. And the game's already great, don't get me wrong, but I think 9 months from now, it's incredibly exciting given that we have the backing now. We know that people are invested into this experience, and, you know, PlayStation's going to be giving them a lot of support, and the community is giving them a lot of support. That's the most powerful thing, that the community is invested into this game, and hopefully we'll have that consistent player base. Eventually, it'll probably tip below 500,000 players, 400,000 players, even 300,000 players, but hopefully it'll be an ebb and flow situation where content updates will roll out, people will jump back in, then, you know, other games will come out, people will jump to other games, but always come back to Helldivers 2. I think it's going to be a co-op experience people are going to stick to for quite a while. And then lastly, we did talk yesterday about DLSS potentially being implemented to Helldivers 2, and it was noted by the CEO how he phrased it made it seem like DLSS was something they're not really thinking about. He noted, okay, I'll buy DLSS cool tech, but not necessary. If I have code time over, I prefer to put that to good use, focusing on the core gameplay, as it is what's most important for a game to be successful. This way of thinking seems to have paid off. There was a Twitter account that said DLSS is not coming to Helldivers 2, and the CEO responded, that's not what I said. I only said gameplay greater than cool tech, which DLSS, I think you're simplifying it by just saying it's cool tech. I think it's very, very useful tech in the sense that, you know, you're enabling a lot of people that don't have the latest hardware to play games at a much more optimal frame rate, at optimal settings, and optimal quality. And DLSS, in my opinion, is incredible technology that makes games more accessible to a larger amount of players. You want more people to play Helldivers 2, and I think for now, gameplay and content updates should be at the helm. That should be what they're focusing on outside of the server issues. But at some point, I think DLSS coming to the game would offer a lot and would just increase accessibility to the game. I did want to make note of some of the Steam community threads that have been coming. Some of these troll threads are just wild, and I don't want to go too in-depth on it, but just every time you open up the Steam community page for Helldivers 2, it seems like you get a troll thread, and I'm just assuming they're troll threads because some of it is just insane. One of the troll threads was for people to not change their reviews because the servers are better and that first impressions matter. Obvious. That seemed like a troll thread to me. And there was another thread opened up titled, "Can the whole democracy bravado be toned down? I like the game, but I dislike the nationalistic theme it has. Is there an option to maybe turn it off or mute the voice lines?" fans. And obviously, that whole gimmick of the game, I don't even want to say it's a gimmick, it's the shtick of the game, and it's a comical layer to the game. Why would you want to tone it down? It's almost at the heart of the game, you know, fighting for Super Earth and whatnot. But that'll do it for me again. I just wanted to make a quick note of that, and every time you go into the Steam community page, I feel like you'll find some funny troll threads. I assume people are just trolling, but you know, I'll have a look at those every now and again. But that'll do it for me. Again, very successful weekend for the game. The best weekend for Helldivers 2 by far. It's not even close. Steam reception has been improving. Concurrent player count continues to either stabilize or even rise. You have to remember that the number now represents people actually playing the game and not just waiting on the game page so they don't have to get hit with queues or anything like that. But successful weekend for the game. Potential crossovers, just reading a little bit into that tweet, I think it would be malpractice, business malpractice if at some point we didn't look at Helldivers 2 crossovers with other big IPs, especially being a PlayStation published title. God of War, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, Armor, of all those games, Destiny 2, of course, just makes all the sense in the world. And kudos to Arrowhead Game Studios because they've done a tremendous job over the last few weeks. And as far as DLSS goes, it looks like that might be on the table at this point. It's just gameplay over cool tech. But DLSS is remarkable, and I do think it should be implemented sometime down the line to allow more people to play the game. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.